Valve has fired back at today's geo-blocking accusations from the European Commission, saying that, in short, Steam as a platform cannot be held responsible for any alleged geo-blocking by the developers and publishers it provides keys to. The European Commission has been working on a years-long investigation into a number of game companies allegedly geo-blocking are restricting game sales by origin in a way that prevents international sales between European Union countries. Today, the Commission announced that it had issued statements of objections to Valve, Bandai Namco, Capcom, Focus Home, Koch Media, and ZeniMax to inform those companies that its preliminary findings see each in breach of EU competition rules. Valve is the only company mentioned in that list in a non-publisher role and has already issued a statement on the matter, arguing that the European Commission has extension of liability to a platform provider in these circumstances is not supported by applicable law. The European Commission's accusations state that, among other things, the 5 publishers mentioned entered into an agreement with Valve to use geo-block activation keys to prevent cross-border sales of selected games on Steam, something which the Commission says may have prevented consumers from buying games for a lower price in other EU member states. However, these charges do not relate to the sale of PC games on Steam. Valve, as PC gaming service, reads the statement from Valve. Such keys allow a customer to activate and play a game on Steam when the user has purchased it from a third-party reseller. Valve provides Steam activation keys free of charge, and does not receive any share of the purchase price when a game is sold by third-party resellers, such as a retailer or other online store. The region locks only applied to a small number of game titles, approximately just 3% of all games using Steam, and none of Valve's known games at the time were subject to the contested region locks in the EU. Valve believes that the extension of liability to a platform provider in these circumstances is not supported by applicable law. Continues that statement. Nonetheless, because of the concerns, Valve actually turned off region locks within the EU starting in 2015, unless those region locks were necessary for local legal requirements, such as German content laws, or geographic limits on where the Steam partner is licensed to distribute a game. The elimination of region locks will also mean that publishers will likely raise prices in less affluent regions to avoid price arbitrage. There are no costs involved in sending activation keys from one country to another, and the activation key is all a user needs to activate and play a PC game. The Commission also accused those 5 publishers of entering into a similar geo-blocking agreement with other distributors, not named in the release, and said that those agreements prevented distributors from selling the relevant PC video games outside the allocated territories, which could cover one or more member states. If the European Commission finds that the accused companies did indeed breach EU competition rules, all 6 could individually face fines of up to 10% of their annual worldwide turnover. Park in Play is a new initiative launched earlier today in partnership with USTWOGAMES, addressing the issue of a lack of people of color in the United Kingdom game scene. This is great to see, and it's really important for other developers to recognize the importance of creating a space where game developers of color can network, discuss their experiences, and lobby the industry to be more inclusive. Park in Play is described by the group as racial equity and inclusion movement, with the goal to improve representation and provide events and initiatives for people of color either working in the industry or wanting to join. Shalaraman, co-founder of Pop in Play, tells The Guardian that the group is not just a place to network but it's also a tool for the industry. A lot of publishers do want a more diverse workforce, but they may have blind spots. We can help with that, says Ramanan. We do want things to change. If a developer wants to be considered with portrayal, then we should be able to help, even if that's to suggest someone they need to pay to be a consultant. People of color should not be doing this labor for free. The large team includes co-founders Adam Campbell, Azumi, and Charlotte Ramanan, Threefold Games, as well as Nita Ahmad, ex-panelist, Mike Anderson, Stool Games, Jody Azar, Look at Games, Dagale, Altered Jane, and Mu Foams Art. The first of Park in Play's monthly networking events will take place from 7 to 9 p.m. at Stool Games, London Studio on March 22nd.
2019
Interested developers can sign up here. Also, be sure to check out the #QM post and the hashtag on Twitter to check out the work from game devs of color. Virtual reality is being used in all sorts of innovative ways by devs, within games and without. If you are working on a game, or just VR curious, you can learn a lot from how other industries use it. And the next month's Game Developers Conference in San Francisco is a great place to do so. That's because GD 2019 has an entire review of DC Entertainment via track-off talks from VR experts who are doing incredible VR work outside of games, including a special session all about how McLaren fast-tracks supercar design using VR that you will not want to miss. McLaren has fast-tracked the supercar design process by introducing a unique VR sketch tool into their studio. Vector Suite allows the designer to sketch directly into 3D, creating initial design concepts and allowing them to effect accurate design changes on the fly, all in an immersive VR environment. These functions were all imperative to the success of the tool, and the transition will demonstrate the challenges and results of 18 months of research and development, literally changing the way McLaren designs cars. Do not skip it. Find more details on this supercharged talk and many more over on THEGDC 2019 session scheduler. There you can begin to lay out your GD 2019, which takes place March 18th through the 22nd at the newly renovated Moscone Center in San Francisco. Bring your team to GD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and GD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. The German Consumer Protection Authority, VZBV, is taking Nintendo to cut over Nintendo's digital pre-order policies, specifically over the strict policy that eShop pre-orders cannot be cancelled. Eurogamer spotted a report from the Norwegian site Pressfire that says the VZBV is well on its way to starting formal proceedings, and has moved the entire case. The whole affair kicked off earlier this year in Norway, and the Norwegian consumer body behind that complaint has since been in communication with the VZBV in order to get this current case started. In Nintendo of Europe's home country of Germany, originally, the Norwegian Consumer Council accused Nintendo of violating the European Union's Consumer Rights Directive that rules that customers in the EU and European Economic Area have the right to withdraw from a purchase if the product has yet to be distributed. Nintendo's terms affirm that all sales made on the eShop are final, including those made for games that have yet to release. Pressfire says that, in response to the earlier complaint, Nintendo claims that the ability to preload games following a pre-order means that distribution has, in a sense, begun after pre-order, despite those games not yet being playable. When the team at Philbiter Games decided to make a sequel to their survival role-playing game, Sunless, there were a few areas they highlighted for improvement, one being progression. According to Chris Gardner, the narrative director at Philbiter Games, a lot of players had given feedback that they had wanted to like Sunless more than they did, but the game's fiddly progression system and lack of tangible reward had stopped them from becoming more invested. So,